Hello everyone watching this video. I am acting as a voice for Eternally Aware. It is ironic that not only is Eternally Aware fighting against big tech to secure our human rights, but that he is also using the technology to expose what they are doing. If you watched his last video designated or titled, Canada Caught Red-Handed, Suppressing Absolute Human Rights Crimes Against Humanity, then you are now aware of at least one illegal action that Canada is taking willfully to destroy your personal absolute rights. Canada is involved in many actions aimed at the destruction of fundamental human rights. These actions are illegal and against the rule of law according to international law. According to the principles of justice which govern and control Canada, everyone in Canada has the absolute right to the freedom of thought and the freedom of their own conscience. This expression of our rights flow from Article 4 and 18 of the ICCPR. Canada decided that it would make up its own operation of law and place limitations on these absolute rights illegally. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms Article 2 is an invalid operation of law and is directly against the principles of justice which bind Canada. As such, Canada is guilty of crimes against humanity for their false operations of law by limiting these absolute rights. Under Article 9 of the ICSCR, the states parties to the present covenant recognize the right of everyone to social security, including social insurance. Every man and woman in Canada has this right, and Canada must respect this right. Many times, Canada is limiting old age pension and unemployment insurance by adding additional impositions, additional requirements to access these rights, which again are against the rule of law. The government cannot take away your right because they claim you owe a debt or another obligation to them. Article 11 states that the states parties to the present covenant recognize the right of everyone to an adequate standard of living for himself and his family, including adequate food, clothing, and housing, and to the continuous improvement of living conditions. Canada must abide by the principles of justice as contained in the covenant, which they are not doing. There are over 100 offices that must be notified in order to place them under the Crimes Against Humanity enactment, to start accountability against the Crown. They must be given notice, and thereby a chance to prevent and repress their actions by choice. Failure to do so will create the legal accountability under international and domestic law. If this is something you desire to support, then consider donating to help cover the cost of all these notices, the time invested and other things that must and will be sent and served to the government.